T5. We have a lot of smoke. We don't see you guys. But I'm very excited to bring you this one, as we have 12 wonderful players. We have Uthermal, which is probably not in the arena yet, but he's coming. We have SOS. We have Lambo, Raynor, Clem, SKillous, Geralt, Spirit, ArT, Christianer, Laser, Mana, the current Polish championship. He was the first one to come here. He's really taking it serious, and I like that. They are fighting for $10,000 prize pool here in the NCK arena. Because of the delay, let's go, let's start already, because you guys want to see the best possible StarCraft level. And we will start with Streamer Zone, SOS, and of course ArT is also here to be our translator. And I wanted to ask you, because in 2021 you went to retirement, and it was probably a shocker to a lot of us, and I would like to know, why did you retire, and more importantly, why did you come back to become active again?
그럼 일단은 저기 2022년에는 은퇴하신 때 그거 사유가 무엇인지, 그리고 그것보다는 더 중요한 것은 왜 다시 스타트를 하게 되었는지 좀 설명 부탁드립니다.
우선 그때 당시 은퇴했을 때는 우선 나이도 많이 찼고, 그리고 실력적으로나 약간 게임에 흥미적으로나 많이 떨어져서 은퇴했었던 것 같고요, 제 기억에는. 그리고 다시 돌아와서 게임하는 이유는 이기면 재밌어서입니다.
Okay, so SOS said that back when he retired, he was getting older, he felt like his skills were dropping, and also his interest in the game were not really there anymore, so he decided to leave the game. But after those few years, the game changed, he became interested in the game again, so he come back to compete once again.
Nice. Fighting. Let's go. So now, obviously, Offside Esports Christian is also with us. He's gonna be the opponent of SOS, and I wanted to ask you, you were just 11 when SOS won his second World Championship, and I was curious whether you were watching him at some point, and did you get inspired by his plays?
Yes, I was watching his gameplay in the past. I was super inspired by his gameplay. Also, like, I was watching the other pro players like Zest or Deer, and also get some inspiration. I think he is very difficult opponent to play against, because it's very hard to expect what he's going to do. Like, it's very hard, but I think if I play solid, I should be fine, and maybe I'm gonna take the win.
Nice, I like the confidence. So let's not prolong this anymore, guys. Let's see who's better this time, the Polish young Protoss. There's 10 years of difference between them, and that will be an interesting one in my opinion. So let's go. You can shake your hands if you want, and please go to the computers and let's play. Let's start.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day here, the offline event, I should say, for the first time in a long time, the offline event of the Fusion Esports League, the FEL Fusion Esports League 2025 Cracov. I'm of course just VIP, and a shout out to Indy, shout out to the players Christianer, SOS, and the translator ArT as well for, of course, providing that little introduction on stage. Of course, this is a big offline event happening over in Poland, happening over in Polonia, in Krakow, and of course we are here as one of the many English streams. Of course, there are multiple series happening at once. We are going to be live here on the CranKy Ducklings covering ArT versus SKillous. Meanwhile, we do have Rotterdam covering SOS. SOS is going to be casted versus Christianer over on Roddy's stream. I would have loved to have covered that series as well, but we're splitting up. We're trying to split up. We're trying to cover as much ground as possible. So the plan currently for the stream is we're going to be casting SKillous versus ArT, and we will also be casting Mana versus a Laser. Casting Mana versus a Laser after that as well. That is going to be the plan. That is going to be our plan, of course, moving forward. And I believe Rotterdam is going to be casting Spirit versus Geralt. So Spirit and Geralt, that's going to be over on Rotterdam's channel after this initial series. Otherwise, hope you've all been doing well. And again, a shout out to Geralt for hosting, for organizing this event. Again, the stage is looking... Oh, actually, speaking of the stage, we can have a bit of a... We can poke in. Yeah, we'll shout out to the... Oh. Yeah, we can see Cristiano, we can see SOS getting ready. The lobby is set, videos are done, and they are going to be jumping into those matches. Going to be jumping in. Oh. Likewise, we have our own series that we're setting up with as well. Hold on. There we go. As videos are underway, and shout out to ArT as well for actually being the translator. It's really cool to see. I mean, for those who don't know, ArT spent a lot of time in South Korea, so yeah, his Korean's actually pretty good. Actually pretty good. Beautiful. As it looks like we have our series. Okay, so the videos are done. Videos are done. And we are jumping into SKillous Resort. Meanwhile, you can see the clean. you can see the clean feed over that they've begun. They've begun their own series. Cristiano and SOS have their own series. Otherwise, we have ours. We have ours. Oh boy. And again, looks like we're going to be jumping in. Also, I see share my. Oh, right. Actually, I didn't get to go into the event itself. It's offline. That's all I've seen. That's the offline events. Meanwhile, here we go. As you can head on over here, we have our double elimination bracket. We have, of course, Cristiano versus SOS. We have ArT and SKillous. We have Mana, Laser, Spirit, and Geralt. And we have some big names as well. We have Clem, Euthermal, Raynor, and Lambo as well. We have our players. We have our bracket here. And again, there are certain players that were traveling, of course, like Clem and Raynor, they were just in Riyadh, they were just in EWC, and they go straight from Riyadh, and Lambo as well. They were just in Riyadh, they fly straight on over. To the other series. They fly straight on over to this tournament, to Poland. So straight from one to the other. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. You can hear the beeps. We are loading into our first series. Let's go. We're loading into our first series of the day of the broadcast, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have our red Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss himself. Representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is ArT. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. We have our PvP again, the first of many. We do, of course, have Rotterdam covering the other PvP over on his personal channel. We, of course, are covering ArT and SKillous. We have our own. We have our own series. We have our own matchup. Let's go. And again, the StarCraft just doesn't stop, right? Roddy, he of course just flew over from Riyadh. We have Clem and Raynor and Lambo flying over from Riyadh. And we also have Wardy. Wardy's going to be casting in English later on in the evening once he lands in the UK and once he is ready, of course. It is a bit of a longer flight. Once he gets there, I'm sure he's also going to be going live covering this event as well. So yeah, all the English coverage, all the StarCraft. And again, it was a really intense week covering EWC. I'll be honest, I barely got any sleep this week, just because of the long days and the rough times to go to bed as well. So I'm a little bit fatigued, not gonna lie. It's a little bit intimidating. This is a one-day event, by the way. I should emphasize that. This is not 2 days. This is a one-day tournament. Everything is playing out here and now tonight. It's gonna be around a 12-hour cast, around a 12-hour stream, longer than EWC days. EWC days, they were tame. They were quite tame, they were like between 8 and 10 hours, which is very doable. But here the bracket is massive. We're expecting a longer broadcast here for the FEL, for Fusion Esports League. But again, a shout out to Geralt, a shout out to those working behind the scenes for making this event a reality. And again, they do have plans to make this an annual tournament, not just a one-off, but to host this next year and for many years to come as well, based on its success. If you happen to be in Poland, if you happen to be in the area in Krakow or around Krakow, then consider going. Consider going. Again, it's going to be lasting all day. So, hey, if you're, for example, in Katowice, if you're in Silesia, if you're even in other parts of the country, you might be looking over. You know what? Let's catch a 2-hour train. Let's head on over. You'll be there, and there's still going to be plenty of StarCraft going on. So you can go, man. You can go. I saw some people in Poland in the chat, or some Polish viewers in the chat, I should say. So, you know, if you happen to be in the area, then consider going. Consider going. Consider catching a train over and enjoying some StarCraft with the rest of the boys. Consider it. For now, though, we do have our fake proxy pylon here by SKillous going for a fake proxy. Behind this, going for a 2-gate opener into an expansion. Meanwhile, we see ArT staying on one base, going for a robo hybrid offensive play here. Now, of course, he realizes with the scout that, of course, there is an expansion, but that will cause him to have a delayed expand, to have tech first as well. So a bit of a slower start here from ArT, something more economic out of SKillous. So we already have our first and big divergence. No predictions. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, that's just I do apologize. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. I do apologize for the later prediction, but again, we're still kind of easing our way into the broadcast. We'll get there. We'll last the night. But thank you for letting me know. Yes. Oh, the art of translating. Exactly. 1-hour train ride. That's nothing. Go for it, Pappy. Go for it. I know there are some people that are going for a train ride over from Katowice. I think that's 2 hours. Katowice. I think it's a 2-hour train ride. That's nothing. That's nothing. Cracov. Meanwhile, we have 2 more gates on the way. So this was originally an economic opener out of SKillous, but he throws down 2 more gateways, going to Glaives, going into Glaive Adepts. A very spicy, very aggressive start here from SKillous. Likewise, proxy pylon across the map to commit to a proxy here, to commit to the all-in. And again, ArT is in the dark. ArT thankfully does have a defensive immortal, but where are the shield batteries? Where's the defensive setup here? There is none. There is none. So ArT, he is not aware that he doesn't see the gateways, doesn't see the move out. ArT is in the dark, and the game may end sooner rather than later. The proxy gateway is being thrown down. The adepts are moving out as well. ArT, he will spot the move out. He will spot the main army. He now sees, he now knows, and we need to set up here. There we go. Now we get the pylon, but it's such a late pylon. Oh, when behind Dark Shrine on the way here for ArT, going for a proxy Dark Shrine across the map, going for his own Glaive Adepts, his own Immortal Glaives Adepts, a shade into the bases. 7 probes going to be going down, and we are still not done. The army, one Adept does fall, one Adept does survive. Meanwhile, we have more warp ins, and we have the move out. SKillous, he confirms the army's back at home, and he commits. He sends that Pappy over the FEL logo. Beautiful. As the army's gearing up. Now, a couple of things here. Zero detection. True. Zero detection for SKillous. So we're about to get rowdy here. On the one hand, I do favor SKillous in his attempt to break this base. Remember, there's no shield battery. There's no use for the energy overcharge outside of the sentries, of course. So this is going to be a tough hold, but we'll see if he can hold on. And if they commit to the shade, it's going for the immortal. He's going for the main army. We have some army here stuck in the back line. Trying to breaks through all the gateway units, but there's a defensive DT, and again, zero detection. DTs, they can defend defensively back at home, and they can also attack here across the map. There it is. We do have the aggressive DT warping in, and if they try to bust into the bases, the wall is solid, and the DT is going ham, sniping the sentries. Ooh, we do have a secondary wall, and ArT, can he hold? Can he survive? Here comes the DTs, just the one Dark Templar across the map, but if they bust into the main, they'll kill everything, and we're going for the base trade. We're going for a full-on base trade. We shade into the main base. At the same time, DT into the main as well. We have a Forge on the way for cannons. We need more Dark Templars. The problem here, one DT can do some damage, but I mean, time is of the essence. Time is of the essence here. Again, we have 2 robos on the way as well. We have one, yeah, there we go. 1 proxy and 1 back at home. So 2 robos. Probes are going down. Likewise, still shading back and forth. ArT down to 0 workers. There's 1 worker left, 1 probe remaining. Top left. The proxy probe. The pylon's going to go down. That will depower the first robot, but remember, there's 2 robos and there's a forge. There we go. Robo's depowered. Oh, he finds the other robo. Okay. Okay. Finds both robos. Depowers one. And kills the other. Oh, there's 2 pylons. Ooh, does depower. Oh, no, he gets the observer. The observer pops out. Which means SKillous, he can race back home. Yeah, here we go. SKillous, he can race back home. GG gets called as 1 observer. And with that, SKillous will take game number 1. Whew, GG. SKillous, who will take a lead in the series. Ay, ay, ay. Does take a lead. Now we're getting into game number 2. We're getting into that second game. And again, SKillous is up 1-0. And we'll see if he can claim the series. Again, it was a cheeky build by ArT. Unfortunately, time was of the essence, and it took so long for the DTs to get any damage, right? It took so long for them to swipe away at the workers. There were just so many probes to kill. We saw that the Mass Adept did wreak havoc, did overwhelm, and with that, SKillous was able to annihilate the economy that much faster. With that, GG. With that, GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into our next game. Let's go. Game 2 is going to be on Maganatha. Beautiful. Just making sure we go to all the castles involved. Here we go, we're getting into that second game. Maganatha, a much larger map of the map pool, and we'll see if ArT can actually stabilize and get into his own game. I mean, these PvPs, we expect them to be fast, right? We expect them to be fast, we expect them to be quick. Even ArT was saying, he was like, can we make this a fast series? I want to watch SOS. Fair enough, fair enough. Understandable. Big SOS fanboy. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, leading the series 1-0 for Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player, the pink Protoss himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is from Atlanta, Poland. It is ArT. Let's go. See in the chat. This isn't a replay cast, right? If this was a replay cast, it would be in the title of the stream. So if you look at the stream title, if you see that there's no statement there, there's a replay cast or anything like that, then you can assume otherwise. Also, exclamation mark B in the chat, so you can have a look at the bracket yourselves. You can have a look at the bracket on Twitch chat or on YouTube chat. I believe it should be pinned on top of the chat box, so you can see the event is happening right now. The event is live, of course. Players, they flew over from Riyadh, from Saudi Arabia, from EWC. They flew right on over to this event to cover it, to take part, to compete, and to take place here in the FEL, in the Fusion Esports League. Let's go. Let us go. Of course, the event is live, and you should assume that if we're casting something, it's live, unless stated otherwise in the title. For now, we do have an economic opener here. We have ours going for a gate expand. That is an expansion before the cyber core, before the second gateway, before the second gas cache. This is hyper greed out of ArT. SKillous going for a standard opener. 2-gate opener, gateway, cyber, 2-gate opener to cyber core, so everything's standard here from SKillous, and he's setting up a proxy across the map. Now, it is not uncommon to cut corners here on Maganatha. Why? Well, welcome to Maganatha. Maganatha is the largest map in the map pool, so longest rushes and spike ground. Because of that, it makes sense for ArT to attempt to cut corners, but we can see SKillous, the mind games here, his goal is to punish his opponent for being greedy. SKillous didn't even scout, by the way. He doesn't even know what's going on. He's blindly assuming that ArT is being greedy, and the assumption is correct, and ArT is in trouble. ArT is in a lot of trouble. Even Max isn't this greedy when it comes to his play. So this is going to be a very brutal defense here from ArT, very brutal position, and it's going to be a tough hold. It's It's going to be difficult. Old skills. You see how ArT confirms. He sees the base is almost done. The Nexus is almost done. That's how greedy ArT was. Ay, ay, ay. And here comes the Robo. Here comes the Stalkers. The Adepts are rallying everything across the map. And SKillous, he will commit to the one base all in. Oh boy. He is going to be committing. With that, here we go. The Prism is on the way. We have the Bay as well, so it's good. Jeez, we're having fun here. We're going into disruptors. Okay. SKillous working towards disruptor tech. Army still rallying across the map. Here comes that proxy gateway. So we have a we don't have a proxy gateway yet. So still 2 gates, still just 2 gateways. Prism has arrived, so now we can reinforce across the map. And ArT, he is scouting. He is aware, of course, of the opener. Shield battery's already done low ground. Meanwhile, we do see SKillous. He just avoids the low ground, goes straight into the main. He's headed straight for the main base instead. Gets into the bases. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3 probe kills. Not bad. 3, 4 probes going down. Likewise, Stalkers, they poke in towards the natural. And workers are falling. Workers are falling left and right. Oof. Yeah, 4, almost 5 probe kills. And here comes the actual army. The Immortal and soon to be the Disruptor. Disruptor's almost out. Prism takes a lot of hits. Oh, that should not have happened. That's a lot of damage being dealt here to SKillous. Ay, ay, ay. As ArT, he does juggle back. Preserves the army. Yeah, so far so good. Nice control here by SKillous. He hasn't lost anything yet, but the army's getting quite low. And ArT's holding. He's holding up the shield batteries out of energy. He needs a little bit more time for his own Immortal. But remember, we now have that big power spike. We now have that 1 Disruptor. Now, how well is that Nova going to connect? First Nova goes off. Takes down the Zealot. Takes down the initial shield battery. That's still a lot of Stalkers, though. Yeah, the Immortal's going ham. Pushing into the mineral line. Meanwhile, that offensive Immortal's almost done, but remember, there is no shield battery. And SKillous is still breaking through. Getting into all the Immortal. Boys are being pulled into the end. Oh, no! Oh my god, never goes off. Takes out a Stalker. And GG. GG gets called. ArT, he is broken. And SKillous, he will break through. He will claim the series 2-0. He'll advance on into the next round. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a very fast series here and a very strong showing by SKillous. Remember, we did have a 2-base all-in game 1, and now we had a 1-base all-in here in game number 2. So hyper aggression here out of SKillous. GG, well played. I was not expecting too much of that out of SKillous. I was hoping that ArT would try to be aggressive himself, and in a way he was, but the DTs, they just were too late. They were too late in game 1, and here ArT was just being hyper greedy, and he was punished quite heavily for that greed in game 2. GG. GG, well played. A strong showing here from SKillous, and with that he will claim the series. With that he will move on into the next round, and up next on the channel is going to be Mana versus a Laser. Oh boy, that is another round 1 match. Meanwhile, I believe SOS and Cristiano are still ongoing. I will reach out and figure out what is happening. We might wait and wrap up that series first. Okay. Just reaching out. I will say Cristiano and SOS, they're still mid-series. They're currently, Cristiano, he's up 1-0. Cristiano, he's currently up 1-0. Again, Cristiano, he's coming in as one of the heavy hitters. I mean, I say coming in as one of the, a lot of these players here are going to be heavy hitters. A lot of them can disrupt the hierarchy here of the player base, of the invites as well. And yeah, Cristiano, he's 1 game away from taking SOS out. Una más is all he needs. Let's catch up. Let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on. Again, when it comes to our player base here, we do have our invites actually from the top. We have our invites. We have Clem, Euthermal, Lambo, and Rainer. We have our 4 invites here for the tournament. 2 Terran and 2 Zerg. For the Polish invites, we had Geralt and Elaser. And from the qualifiers, we had Spirit, Christiana, Mana, SKillous, SOS, and ArT. And as you're mentioning, Christiana, he's already up 1-0 versus SOS. SKillous, he takes down ArT to advance on a face-off against Euthermal. Oh my god. So SKillous versus Euthermal in the upper bracket quarterfinal. We'll get there. We're going to wrap up the first round first, and then we'll jump into the quarterfinals. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Clem is waiting for the winner of Christiana and SOS. We have Rainer waiting for the winner of Mana and Laser, and we have Lambert waiting for the winner of Spirit and Geralt. So again, some big names here. All the Zerg players towards the bottom half of the bracket. So again, there's no potential upper bracket ZVZ finals, but again, double elimination. True. I should emphasize that as well. It is double elimination, so no one is out. ArT, he's going to be knocked down to lower brackets, but alas, he still has another life. Meanwhile, even if SOS goes down here, he'll have another life in the lower bracket as well. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. Also, we have confirmation that we are going to be waiting for SOS and Cristiano to finish. So let's jump in. Let us jump in here and now. Bam. As we do have Cristiano and SOS. Game 2 is on Persephone. They're 10 minutes into their game. We just see SOS pushing towards the third base, but Cristiano, he's very nicely set up here. Oh my god. As we can see, SOS with his Streamer Zone jersey rocking up. Do love to see it. But again, Cristiano currently is up in workers. He's even on bases. He has a greater economy, has a larger army. When it comes to the compositions themselves, it looks like so far we have Mass Gateway as a composition for Cristiano, moving out with Double Adept for Harass. SOS, the pressure is on. He's going for his own drop in towards that main base, and we'll see if he can get some damage done. Right now, SOS is behind. He needs to get some damage done here to catch up. Oh boy. He has to get some damage done. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do shade in. So far, only 2 probe kills. At the same time, here comes a drop into the main. But Cristiano, he does react. He does react in time. And he will shut this down. So I'll try to... There we go. I can see the players. And I guess I'll get rid of this. Yeah. I kind of like the logo here. Okay. I'll also make sure there's no double layered sound. Again, this is the clean feed that we're casting from, at least for SOS versus Cristiano, which is why we have player cams as well, as this is an offline event. Cristiano versus SOS. Streamer Zone. Set Esports. Beautiful. Yeah, so we have a Dark Shrine away from SOS. Again, SOS is behind, so hey, when behind, Dark Shrine. DTs that will help. They will help at least somewhat. As Cristiano is pushing in, he's up that 20 supply. He has that prison to reinforce, going into mass charge out reinforcements. You could argue that his quality of his army is a little bit lower, but he's trying to overwhelm. Can he get on top of the Immortals? Zealots are lagging a little bit behind. Very nice force fields out of SOS, but there we go. 1 Immortal goes down. There's still 3 left. That's a lot of Immortals. And they will survive here. Again, those force fields buying so much time. So even though Cristiano has a larger army, he cannot break through, but he will settle for the 4th. Nicely done. Takes down the 4th base. Takes down the 4th, now pushing in towards the 3rd. He can even peel off into the mineral line at the natural, but no, he wants those Immortals, and he's going to get them. Yeah, he should be able to get at least 1, maybe 2. There we go, 2 Immortals going down. There's 1 Immortal left. And that is the backbone of SOS's army. Ay. Yeah, and with that Cristiano, he's overwhelming. Thank you for letting us know in the chat as well. SOS was down 20 workers at the start of the game, and there it is. Cristiano, he will take the series 2-0, knocking down SOS and advancing on into the next round. GG. Strong showing here from Cristiano. Hey, you can see SKillous in the background. You can see Nikita. I think he's conversing with Mana. That might be Mana next to him. But yes, we can see the Polish boys in the background convening together, of course. And Cristiano does take down SOS. GG. GG, well played. Impressive showing here from Cristiano, bearing in mind these are best of threes, of course. And also, as a reminder, double elimination. So SOS, he's not out. He's not out of the tournament. He's going to be knocked down to the lower bracket, where he will have a chance at redemption. Meanwhile, a big shout out to the casters as well. Shout out to Zed. I believe that's Zed on the left, and Indy, of course, on the right. Este Indy, so the Polish boys are, of course, casting at the event itself. We, of course, casting from here, Australia. We're doing what we can. But GG, well played. Impressive showing there from Cristiano. Again, even though some of these players were not able to go to EWC, they are fighting their hearts out here, and at least they have another big premier event that they are going to be fighting for, a big offline event. Again, $10,000 are a part of the prize pool here, and they're all duking it out. Oh my god, I think we almost cut to a break. Well, we'll get there. But for now, again, the next series on the channel is going to be Mana and a Laser. As we mentioned before, there are going to be 2 series happening concurrently. It's going to be Mana versus a Laser on this stream, and it's going to be Spirit versus Geralt over on Rotterdam stream. So a big shout out to Rotterdam. Is going to be casting the other match in English. Is going to be covering that other series. And we have our own, as we should be having some updates here on the Wikipedia page. Yep, there we go. Bam. Again, when it comes to the event itself, oh, I think that's a venue. Okay. But they're showing ads at the moment as they're cutting to a break. But when it comes to the bracket itself, again, Cristiano is going to be moving on to face off against Clem in the next round. It's going to be a spicy PvT that will be taking place. Meanwhile, we do have SKillous up against Thermal, and we have those other first round matches ahead of us. Up next, Mana versus a Laser. Now, when it comes to the upper bracket quarterfinals, every series is going to be casted. So we're going to be casting, as in we're going to be in every series. So we're going to be in every series here for the upper bracket quarterfinals. I believe after the upper bracket quarterfinals, though, we're gonna peel off. Of course, Rotterdam, he is a bigger stream, he's a bigger channel. So Roddy is after the upper bracket quarterfinals. Rotterdam, he's going to be covering the upper bracket semis. Both upper bracket semifinals, which are going to be really good matches. I believe we might be heading down to the lower bracket after the upper bracket quarterfinals. I would love to keep casting the upper bracket semis, but we might have to be relegated to the lower bracket instead, just to spread out, just to cover more matches, just to cover as many matches as possible. We'll see how the schedule turns out, but I believe currently that is the plan. Currently. Also, I saw some people bringing up Raynor, how like, oh, Raynor he did very well at EWC. Both Raynor and Clem, they came in as heavy favorites, and Raynor, he was the player that was so close to bringing Cyril down. I want to say that he even should have, like, he was ahead in that series, he was winning that game, winning those matches. If you missed out, check out our YouTube channel for the VODs. We, of course, were casting EWC here live on the CranKy Ducklings, and Raynor was looking so good against Cyril, and again, he got a little bit too excited, he made mistakes, and we saw Cyril have a crazy comeback and actually bring Raynor down. But there's a world where Raynor could have had a deeper run and maybe even have become our champion. Meanwhile, Clem, he also had a bit of a lackluster performance. Classic was a player that was able to stop Clem's run. But what I'm getting at is that we never get to see Clem versus Raynor. It never happened at EWC. It could happen here, though. They are the top 2 seeds of the tournament. So unless we have another upset, unless Mark, unless SKillous, unless some of these other big names like Cristiano, Lambo, Laser, Mana, I can see some of these guys taking maps and taking series. By the way, they're not favorites against Clem and Raynor, but they can make them bleed 100%, and we'll see if they will. Otherwise, I would be looking forward to seeing Clem versus Raynor, just because Raynor was looking so good against Maru, but Maru played a lot of mech. If you remember that series, Maru versus Raynor, Maru, he played a lot of mech throughout the course of EWC, so it'd be nice to see Raynor against a bio player, for sure. Would be nice. Until then, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break here. Vetoes are underway, and when we return, we will have Mana and a Laser facing off. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break. Just catching up in the chat. But yes, we missed out on the beginning of SOS versus Cristiano, so we didn't get to see how Cristiano got his lead. We just saw that he had a lead, so we weren't able to quite see that. But again, Mana and Laser coming up next. We're going to be heading on over. We're going to be heading off. We're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you soon after the break with some more StarCraft with a ZVP. See you then.